Welcome to the deep dive. We're jumping into Tarek Raymond's The Camino Within today. You sent it over, and it's a great source for looking at how we handle life, when things don't go as planned.
Yeah, and he kicks it off with that Andre 3000 quote, doesn't he?
Hmm.
But the picnic and the weather.
Exactly. You can plan a pretty picnic, but you can't predict the weather. That really captures what we're exploring, this idea of inner resilience.
Right, how his walk on the Camino sort of mirrors life itself.
So we'll dig into his story, the challenges, and this surprising warmth he talks about finding.
That quote, it really highlights our desire for control versus the reality, you know?
Totally. Life's just not like that.
And the Camino experience Ryman shares, it becomes this, like, perfect little world showing that. Life, the walk.
Yeah.
It has good days, bad days, highs, lows.
Yeah.
It's unpredictable.
He even uses that simple example of, like, choosing clothes for the day on the
Oh,
commute.
yeah, the T-shirt versus the jacket thing.
Right. You think it'll be sunny, pack light, and then bam, rain. Or the opposite. It shows you just can't perfectly plan for everything.
It's a constant adjustment, isn't it?
Yeah.
A dance with what actually happens.
And he has this really intense story near the end of his trip.
Ah, the cold night.
Yeah, exactly. He'd planned, I think, to cycle until about 5 p.m., standard plan. But the weather just turned, got really, really cold as it got dark. And then the big problem, finding somewhere to stay.
Right, that's when the real stress kicks in.
He went from town to town, apparently, but every hostel was completely full.
Wow. Just imagine that feeling. Cold, tired, nowhere to go, exposed.
Yeah.
But it's in moments like that, isn't it? When you're really pushed. That's where resilience comes from, or where you find it.
He actually says he had to consciously, dig deep to find some brightness.
Hmm. That active choice is fascinating. It wasn't just happening to him. He chose how to, well, try and respond internally, despite everything outside being pretty grim.
Makes you wonder what that digging deep actually involves.
Well, and for him, that specific feeling, the cold, the dark, being alone, it triggered something else, right? A memory.
It did. It took him back to his first winter in Montreal, which, Canadian winters.
Can be bleak, especially the first one, I imagine.
Yeah, he remembers it feeling pretty isolating at first, but then he has this, light bulb moment.
About where the warmth really came from that winter.
Exactly. It wasn't about the weather suddenly getting better.
No, it was the people, the friends who came into his life then.
Right. He realized their spontaneity, their warmth, their values. It created this kind of internal buffer. He calls it an eternal summer inside him.
That's a great phrase. It suggests that human connection can actually fundamentally change how we experience external hardship. It shielded him, in a way.
So that difficult night on the Camino, freezing cold, it wasn't just hardship. It was like a mirror showing him a truth he'd already learned back in Montreal.
Precisely. That the real warmth, the stuff that gets you through, it isn't about controlling the weather, literally or metaphorically.
It's about cultivating something inside.
Inside, yeah, and also between us. That inner resilience, that warmth. It's not just a solo act. It's deeply connected to the strength we get from, well, meaningful relationships.
They keep you steady when the storm hits, like ballast, as you said.
These connections matter a lot.
And Raymond wraps it up with that hopeful thought, even after the worst night, the toughest time.
The sun's going to rise again.
Yeah. Either the actual sun or that inner light, that strength inside you, it's a reminder that we can keep going.
It definitely makes you reflect, doesn't it? Thinking about Raymond's experience. Maybe pause and consider a time you faced something unexpected, something tough.
And maybe you discovered a strength you didn't know you had.
Or really saw the value of the people supporting you. How can remembering that feeling, that discovery, help you face whatever uncertainty comes next?
So maybe the goal isn't the perfectly planned picnic after all.
Maybe it's more about knowing you can handle the rain, partly because of the warmth you carry inside, and partly because of who's standing there with you.